What's good, guys? We got a special little episode for you guys since we missed talking about Wonder Man because it was a Tuesday and it just came out when we were recording. But anyways,
Bonus
welcome
pod.
to PhilmPod, where we break down films in the way anyone can enjoy. Whether you're new to movies or a seasoned fan, you're in the right place. And to my left, as always, I got my homeboy Isaiah ZDB Aramia, because he is literally the live-action incarnation of IMDb. How you doing today, sir? What's good?
Doing great. I'm doing great. I can't wait to talk about Wonder Man on this bonus pod. I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. Let's just jump into it. I'm not gonna lie. Let's just do
I
it.
just want to go.
I just want to talk
wanna
about
go.
Wonder Man. I just want to talk about Wonder Man.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
You know what? I want to hear from you first.
Okay.
I want to hear from you first.
All right. All right. Cool. Phil, when the MCU is great, it literally feels like just magic. Like it feels like it just feels so special. Does Wonder Man fit that category? It 100% does. I'm
Okay.
giving Wonder Man a 9 out of 10. I thought it was
Dang.
fan-freaking-tastic.
Okay.
I loved it. Like, I loved it. I was smiling ear to ear the entire time. I thought every single episode was, for the most part, pretty strong. Definitely a couple, like, whatever episodes in there. But for the most part, dude, as a complete package, this show is just incredible. Kevin Feige, if you're watching, why did you want to cancel this? For what reason? For what reason? Anyways, Phil, I loved it so much, and I can't wait to get fully in depth with it. The characters were great. The writing was great. The soundtrack was phenomenal. But, Phil, I want to hear what you thought, Phil. What do you think about Wonder Man?
I was gonna let you talk a little bit more.
No,
man.
because there's only so much I can say generally. I don't want to take everything, you know?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we've been on a journey, like a big journey, for a long time with these MCU TV shows. We've had some good moments at the start with those first three shows, and then we had some bad moments with it continuing, and then it going here, going there, being all over the place for no reason. But, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that Wonder Man put us back on track and made us really think, do we want some more MCU TV shows? Because I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I watched the trailer for this show, I was like, okay, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. It might be okay, but I wasn't fully invested. When I saw the first episode and when I got more into it, I was like, wow, I am hooked. And the fact that I'm not complaining once about there's not really any like crazy like CGI VFX fights in this is an even bigger like, wow, the story's great. The characters are great. Yeah, literally, the characters are great. But I was so invested. I know, like, sometimes I had to pause because I had to work and stuff, but this show did such a good job of making me care about two people, especially one person who I thought I just wouldn't care about, but really got into when we got more into his character. We'll reveal it soon, but for my official review on Wonder Man, or my score, I'm gonna go with I'm still debating between an 8 or a 9. I think I want to go with a very strong 8.
Nice.
Like a
I'll
strong
convince
8.
you of a 9 by the end of the episode.
I think I might be at a 9 at the end of this episode. I think I might. But for now, I'm at a very strong 8 because I was very impressed with Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
Alright, dude. Let's get into it. Let's get into all things Wonder Man. I want to just say this first and foremost. And, like, we'll say full spoiler territory now. Like, we're going to talk freely. What I'm going to say is not, I think could be a spoiler to some people. I think might not be, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Spoiler territory now. Watch Wonder Man if you haven't. Dude, I'm so happy that this show didn't have a twist villain or an awful CGI final fight.
Yes.
Like, genuinely surprised that it didn't. I was expecting one. Like, dude, honestly, I got to episode, 5, and I was like, oh, so we're just not getting a villain. Yes! Let's go! Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And there definitely is, an antagonist for sure, but I don't think villain in the conventional sense of, oh, here's a guy in another suit that's gonna try and kill you or whatever. I really appreciated that. This show felt so different from anything the MCU has done. And I think we say that a lot, But I think recently it's become more clear that the MCU is trying to do different things, and it's finally sticking. Like, it's finally landing, you know? Thunderbolts being a very conventional superhero movie, but tackling a lot more, like dramatic themes, you know? Being a little bit darker. Very different, in my opinion, in what the MCU has done previously. More, like, on the messaging side. Fantastic Four, just by the way it looks very different from anything the MCU has done, right?
Yeah.
And now getting to this, Wonder Man, like, this isn't even a superhero show. Like, I wouldn't even call it a superhero show. This is a show about a struggling actor who's trying to make his place in Hollywood. And I loved it. I literally loved every second of it. It was fan-freaking-tastic.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I was low-key worried because in the first episode, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can review this because I feel like I was gonna be biased because, one, placed in California in the Hollywood area. 2, it's about an actor trying to get into acting and have his big break. 3, it's having so many movie references.
A lot of movie references. So many.
I was like, if this show sucks, and I really was hoping it doesn't suck, I was like, I really hope I don't have to play the card that I am very biased. And I think that the reason why it was good was because it had so many movie stuff references. I was like hoping, I was like praying, because I really wanted to talk about it and be like actual literal. But thank God it was good, because oh my goodness, I'm just so happy I don't have to play that card. I'm so happy. But it was so impressive, and I honestly like what you said about this doesn't feel like a superhero show, and like you saying it doesn't really have an antagonist, because I'm gonna be for real, I feel like this was one of these first shows or projects I've seen where the main character was the protagonist and the antagonist.
Yeah, for sure. No, 100%.
That was impressive to me. Like, I was blown away because it was literally just about his struggles, not just trying to become like a big time actor, getting this big break. It was about his personal problems.
Yeah.
In himself. And you could really, I don't know, that was the most impressive thing about the writing. You could really connect with both, like, feeling him the protagonist side and feeling him on the antagonist side. And I was just blown away by that. And it was reasonable, too. It wasn't like, you know, all BS or anything.
Yeah.
It was very reasonable.
Yeah.
But I think Simon Williams, amazing character in this show.
Yes.
But I really need to put Trevor Slattery on, like,
the Mandarin.
The block. Like the Mandarin, aka Ben Kingsley. He did a phenomenal job. Like, he obviously was playing himself from Iron Man 3 and also from Shang-Chi, but still, way to make me, like, connect with you and also, like, feel bad for you and start rooting for you as well. Like, the episodes that we go through, I think it's mainly episodes 1 through 3 where we're just like, okay, we see him back. He enters episode 1, and then we're trying to figure out where he's going. But he's awesome when he enters. He's sneaking Trevor Slattery, but like him and Simon going through, like, trying to get back into that Hollywood or even enter the Hollywood world again, or even for the first time, was super cool to me.
100%.
Especially start learning more about Trevor Slattery and his personal background. I was like, this is nice, man. This is really nice, especially the lead up towards the end, but we'll get into that soon.
I got weirdly nostalgic every time they would do a Mandarin scene where he would do the voice. I don't know why. Did you feel that? Like, when they first originally show, like, the clip of, it's like, oh yeah, you're the Mandarin, right? And they show, like, the clip from Iron Man 3. I'm like, man, why am I, like, kind of feeling the nostalgia right now? This is weird. I love Trevor Slattery. Genuinely, dude. He is, I don't want to say the star of the show, but I think he's one of them for sure. I like Simon Williams a whole lot, and I'm going to get into his character in a bit. But I think just their dynamic was so perfect. Genuinely, their chemistry was off the charts. Everything about them, too, was just like, it was working for me. And something that I appreciate about this show, and I think it's something I appreciate more and more, is I'm not someone who hates MCU humor. I know a lot of people can't stand it. It's like, oh, like, you know, the whole, like, random jokes, or I'm gonna do something cool and say a lame line. Like, that stuff never bugs me. It feels very comic booky, but I understand that it's not quality in a lot of ways. I enjoy it personally. This show, like, I don't know if you would call it MCU humor. I would just say that it is funny though, and it has some great. Like this is one of the more funny MCU shows, but it doesn't feel like that kind of humor. Like it just feels like a comedy sometimes, and I really like that. I really appreciate it. I was laughing a lot more than I expected to, and that's because of freaking the Mandarin dude. He's so funny. He's so funny. Bro. Just his voice gets me like every time. I think he's such a dude, I don't know. Can you do a Mandarin impression?
No, I can't. Like the best I could do was trying to teach another lesson.
Yeah,
that's all I could do.
Another lesson. America.
That was good. What the heck?
He's so cool. He's so cool. I loved it. I
blew it up.
I want to highlight a couple episodes for me really fast. Episode 3, I think, is a standout episode for me. That's the episode when he goes back home to his mom's birthday. And that just entire episode was a mix of funny and also just really... I think it reveals a lot about Simon's character and the way that people view him around him, right? His mom being super like, yeah, I'm just happy you're here and I'm happy you're working. And his brother just being like, dude, you're not going anywhere. Like, you're never going to make it. And I like that you could see how out of place he feels in his own family just when he's hanging out with his cousins. And I was like, dude, that
made me so angry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad, continue.
I like when they talk about Captain America and he's like, he's just like a dude that like throws a shield, right? Like that's not that really that impressive. I genuinely love that episode so much. I think that's a special episode for me. That's probably my favorite episode outside of I think episode 7. I really like the final episode, which we'll get into later. But I think episode 7 was a really cool like another like set of character reveals for him, where you kind of just get to know more of his character. Anyways, episode 3 I thought was phenomenal. And then episode 4 was a really weird episode. That's Doorman. But awesome. Awesome. I want to explain the plot of this episode really fast, and I want us to talk about this. Because I think this episode is probably like one of the biggest episodes of the show in terms of like MCU ramification stuff. Basically, episode 4 tells a story about why superheroes can't act in Hollywood. Because there was this guy who touched some goo. But not just any goo. You know who made that goo? Roxxon, baby. And you know what that means? The MCU officially has the spot. Different person, different thing, but... What?
Oh my god!
You didn't think about that? So I looked it up after because I was curious. It's not like they're changing the name, they're doing different stuff. I'm pretty sure that's 100% what they're doing.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't believe I got to reveal that to you. Yeah, Roxxon is the reason why it's awesome. Yeah. So anyways, regardless, Roxxon Goo gets on this man. I'm blanking on his name, but regardless, I'm just going to call him the Spot for the sake of this episode. But his name was Damar Davis. There we go.
Yep.
Damar Davis, he gets this power, and freaking Josh Gad, who plays himself, is like, yeah, I want you to be my acting buddy, you know? They start acting together. His career kind of goes off the fritz. He kind of becomes this cheap whatever actor. And I love that it was a look at how characters' careers can sort of mellow out and become nothing, and how that like actually affects someone. Like the way Damar Davis was like looking at like Twitter threads, and he's seeing like people making fun of him and being like you're such a loser, like your 15 minutes of fame is gonna be up, and how it actually deeply affects him. That's already like a step to like maybe this guy was never fit to be famous. Yeah. And then you see that reflected later when his career kind of falls off and he's looking for a new thing, and Josh Gad calls him up and he's like, hey, we're making another cash grab, which also funny. Sorry, that was just a dumb joke. That's such an easy joke, but it made me laugh. Making Cash Grab 2, and Josh Gad freaking dies. That was crazy. Phil, what did you think of that episode? What did you think of that scene?
I'm not gonna lie. When I first was going through that episode, I wasn't fully into it, only because, alright, I'm gonna play a trope here. A lot of us black people, if we see something strange anywhere, we going the other way. We ain't even entertaining the thought. So right when Brody goes up, because it was already giving me a little cliche moments, and when he just goes, let me touch that thing. I was kind of for a second annoyed because I was like, bro, what is you doing? You black. Get away. Run. But, you know, when we got more into it, and when I start seeing what they're trying to show us, I was like, oh, okay, so it's really going into detail of telling, not just giving us like a paper where it's like, here are the rules on the reason why like superheroes can't act. They're really showing the ramifications, the Josh Gad of it, which I thought was super funny when he starts singing in the stinking club and is thinking, what's Olaf voice? Like,
well, that is his voice. Let's not forget that Josh Gad just sounds like that.
I know, but all I saw was Olaf when I was up there, Olaf in the club, which I thought was funny, but I just was really, I got more impressed with it, especially towards the end when they showed the actual ramifications. And then when they had Homeboy from Saved by the Bell explaining exactly how hard it is to be like a super-powered being and try to get into Hollywood. And where he's like, insurance claims are going to be so insane that it's going to make it impossible for super beings to even think about going into acting. And then it zooms out, which I thought was awesome when Brody was on the set, like wearing I forgot what type of clothes it is.
You think he was on the set of Grey's Anatomy?
Maybe.
That's what I assumed. They didn't say it.
Or the Pit.
I feel like more likely Grey's Anatomy because it's just so like it's been going on for so long. That just like that'd be the joke.
But I slowly started really liking that episode, and even when it ended, I was like, "Oof!" That's why he left. He was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna get another part real quick." But that was a really good episode. It was. But the first 3 episodes, because I know we only talked about like you talked about 3, we talked about 4, but the first.
Which one do you want to talk about? What episode was yours?
I really loved 3, but that's a hard one for me. I think 7 and 3 were my favorites of this series because 3, just like you were talking about, him showing like us getting to know like how much of an outcast he is in his own family, but also understanding why was really good. And also his brother was really starting to like get on my nerves. I was really at the point, I don't know, everybody was getting on my nerves with that whole thing, but like even that scene where his cousins, I guess, thought he couldn't speak Creole.
Oh, like, yeah. That's the same scene in the Captain America scene. Yeah.
And he's just sitting there, like, he's just standing there listening to them both, and they're just trashing on him. And I'm like, you guys are such jerks. Like, I literally said to myself, I wish that he could just speak Creole. Right when he says, you know I can understand you, right? I laughed out loud. I was like, that's what you get. That's what you get, you jerks.
Freaking lame.
But episode 3, just even seeing like his struggle with that, and then also them pulling off after when he does that thing, and also Brody is insanely strong. Like, I don't know too much about Wonder Man in the comics, but seeing him just go boom, I was like, could he take the Hulk? Could he? But after when they leave and they go towards that spot where they filmed La La Land. I mean,
yeah, okay, so that is it, right? Cool. I noticed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the spot that they filmed at for La La Land. And
that's funny.
I just thought that was
and I figured cool. That was the joke. The joke. Okay, cool. I didn't know that for sure. I didn't Google it.
Yes, but like episode 3 was just really good. Pacoima,
yeah.
But episode 7, Kathy Friedman, I really liked this episode. I really did. Only because it gave a key part. I think it was almost a good transition or a realization of his character, where this is at the point where they finally get the part.
He is Wonder Man.
He's Wonder Man. Spoiler alert. He's Wonder Man, and Trevor Slattery is his Barnaby. And, you know, they're shooting the film, or they're starting to shoot, they're going through scenes, and everything seems so perfect. But all of a sudden, name of the episode, Kathy Friedman wants to do an interview or a expose on Simon Williams. And so he's worried because, well, it's not just like, 1, he's worried of being found out that he's a super being, but 2, he's worried because also it's something about him. Something like he has to really go in about himself. And there's so many times when she's asking questions. Like, I think the one question that really made me feel super bad for him, I was already feeling bad for him, but the one where she's like, do you have any other friends besides Simon or your mom that I could talk to? And he's like, well, no, not really. And I just went, dang, man, but that's because you understand from episode 3, he didn't really have friends. His mom talks about it. He didn't have friends. And it just sucks. It sucked to hear that. but it made me really connect with him. And then the part where, like, when the process of going into the Kathy Friedman thing, and Trevor's talking to him, and he sees that he's worried. And I love Trevor being that supportive friend for him, but he's just like, you know, it would really help if you ask questions about other people. Like, just get that going. And that plays a good part, because I feel like that was good character growth on him. Because in episode 8, it gets into that, and he kind of learns from that. And even though he was kind of using a character in episode 8, it just shows that he used that like thing that Trevor told him to do, and started to actually start caring, started to actually think about himself.
I think what I took away a lot though from that episode, from episode 7 specifically, was I think throughout the show you're kind of like, you feel really bad for him. Like,
yeah,
it's like, dude, he's trying everything he can to break out into Hollywood. He doesn't have friends. He's an outcast in his family. Like, this guy is just like, poor guy. But I think what episode 7 revealed to me, and it was a callback to the first episode, was that he also kind of does suck. Like, he is an awful person to work with. He doesn't really care about the people around him. He's very focused on himself and the script that he's given, and he's going to overthink every little thing and change any small thing he doesn't like. And I'm not going to lie, episode 7, I was like, yeah, I don't like him that much right now. Like, you're really making me mad. Why are you acting like this? And you're right. I think it's something that they touch on in episode 8 and at the end of episode 7, where he sort of tries to become a little bit more likable. But even when he meets up with his girlfriend, he's still very selfish, and he's still not really letting her in. And
that is
his
true.
Ex-girlfriend. And I can't wait to see them at some point. I don't even know where they would get into this. But, like, I think there's a lot of growth potential for that character, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. Because I think that was a really interesting thing. To not just have him be this lovable, we want him to succeed, root for guy, but an actual, like, layered character who, we want to see win, but he also does kind of suck. Just not in, like, a way that's like, you're the worst person ever, but more in a way that's like, okay, you need to chill out, buddy.
I like that you touched on that, because that is another reason why I like this show. They didn't leave it where you fully like or fully hate the character. They leave it where there's still room to grow and there's still a character to explore. Because I'm not going to lie, I do like it when you see character growth in the show, but I kind of want it to, especially if you know this character is going to come back in the future, I kind of want it to be a slow build where...
Stretch it out.
Yeah, especially in the MCU where you know he's going to be in other projects. I want him to learn with these other heroes or these other characters he's going to meet, to learn, like, how to grow more. And like, eventually, in the second or third project he's in, he'll fully be a changed person. And I will appreciate that, like, seeing that, especially after the first thing I saw on season 1. But there was another thing you said that, I wanted to ask you. All right, so that opening scene in episode 1,
I want to talk about that too.
The scene.
Yeah,
how did you feel about that? Because I feel like we were leaning into that.
You're talking. The opening scene is him watching Wonder Man, correct? With his dad.
It's him watching Wonder Man and then him getting on set and performing.
Okay, I want to talk about the first scene with him and his dad watching Wonder Man, which they go back to a couple times. Every time I got emotional. I'm not gonna lie, like, genuinely, it was an experience that I think I've related to a lot as someone whose dad isn't super into movies, but my dad would take me to, like, watch a Star Wars movie because he knew I really wanted to watch it, or a DC movie because he's like, I know he wants to watch it. And just the scene of his dad not even watching the movie, watching his son just, like, geek over the movie, I don't know, it hit. Like, that hit. So every time they brought that back, I was like, I relate to this pretty hard. The scene of him on American Horror Stories, I was like, okay, alright, you should get fired, you suck. You're the worst. I felt bad, though. What's funny, though, is I felt more bad in that scene than I do later. And I think there's a reason for that. Where in the first episode, it's portrayed as someone who just cares a lot, but he's still kind of an overthinker. Like, there's a reason why he's not breaking any ground in acting. But still, it's like, this guy's an overthinker. Episode 7, it's portrayed as, okay, you're kind of being a douche. Like, you got it. And now it feels like you're taking advantage of, like, that. You know? But I want to talk about one more scene in episode 2. I want to talk about, and this is kind of corny, I'm not going to lie, but I love it. I loved it so much. The episode 2 is self-tape. That's the episode when he's trying to send in a self-tape for a short film that he wants to do where he's going to play some waiter guy. And in the scene that he's acting out, the waiter and the other character have some like weird connection. Like that's the plot of that scene, right? Mm-hmm. And to go through the whole episode of him just trying to pull it off, and they're like him and freaking like the Mandarin Trevor, they're like going through like all the different places.
Yeah.
And he finally gets to do it. And I love that scene. Sorry, my computer's bugging. I love that scene so much because it's like a perfect reflection of what is actually happening in the scene, where he's acting out the scene of him getting the like them having the connection, but then they're actually developing this connection towards each other. And I was like, yeah, that's good, just great. I love that. Good writing, like great comeback, And you start thinking about, man, what's the damage control in all this? And that's why I want to talk about damage control, which I wasn't... I don't think I properly watched a trailer for this show. I think I saw one of them, and I was like, yeah, this looks pretty good. I didn't really recall much from it, though. I don't know if they revealed damage control in the trailers, but at the end of the first episode, when it's revealed that Trevor's working with damage control, I geeked. I was like...
That was awesome.
Oh, whoa, that changes things,
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I don't know, dude. I'm so curious what they're doing with damage control. Because I think when they started doing it in Far From Home? Yeah?
No Way Home, I think.
Is it No Way Home? I think No Way Home. Far From Home.
Homecoming.
Started in Homecoming. You're right, Homecoming, in the scene when the Avengers... Yes. When they introduced them in Homecoming, and then the slow progression of them popping up more and more, I'm so curious what they're doing. Here's my question to you. They have that prison in LA, big prison. Obviously a setup for, here's all our villains we're going to throw in there. Do you think they're going to scatter those prisons in different cities? Like, do you think we're going to see a prison like that in New York? Okay, and here's my follow-up question. Do you think we get something like The Raft for Spider-Man, and we get some prison break thing where all his villains get out?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's exactly what they're setting up. Okay, cool.
Here is something, and I don't want to take all the credit for this. I just think it's a cool idea, and I think there's a theory that I was listening to Screen Culture, or I believe it's Screen Culture on YouTube, and they had a very interesting theory that I believe makes total sense. And I believe somebody else posted it on Twitter, but it's a very cool idea, and I'm not going to say this is happening or this is going to happen, but if it does happen, I'm going to be very behind the MCU, especially on a small scale. So somebody is saying, Screen Culture alluded to it too, since there is going to be for sure an X-Men reboot, and since they need somebody to like be against the X-Men or an opposite of the X-Men, they said that the damage, or what is it called again? The
Department of Damage Control.
Department of Damage Control could be a villain or a whole group that is going to be going after mutants.
And that would make sense. Make sense. It makes sense because they're just kind of like, even if they don't do anything, they're like, hey, this guy's pretty powerful. We should keep an eye on him. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because that was the whole general idea that they kept talking about, which is why I really like that idea. Because over and over again, they were just like, we have a high, like superhuman prison, and it's half full. Why is it half full? And you already know
they're gonna fill it up.
That these people can do. Like you saw it in No Way Home. You saw how much jurisdiction they have. They literally could be the big bad. That could be they could even have a striker of their own that just comes out of nowhere and that could be in charge of the really Department of Damage Control.
That would be
like,
really
and once again, I don't know the comics specifics on the Department of Damage Control and all that, but if they're doing it the MCU way, I really could see them doing that.
I would love that.
It's so cool. You know what's funny to me? When episode 1 ended, I did not know, and I totally forgot that Destin Daniel Cretton was the director.
Yes! Oh my gosh, he directed so much of this! He directed the first 2 episodes?
Yeah, I was so shook. When that came up at the end of the episode, I was like,
I did too. I had that same reaction.
And then Department of Damage Control, like instantly, right when that came up at the end of episode 1, I was like, that's the dude from Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, I didn't even think about that part! I was thinking about like, whoa, cool, he directed it because like Shang-Chi, the Mandarin, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah!
I just went, wait. And then so I was thinking, and then Screen Culture, I was connecting the dots, and I was like, this is literally the start of Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Cool.
Like, this literally is.
So I thought that connection was gonna happen too, but I took it more in like the whole villain aspect of it. Like I genuinely think like we're getting some form of Prison Break, Sinister Six, Spider-Man PS4 kind of scene. Which, by the way, one of the greatest Spider-Man things in freaking ever. When I was 13 years old playing that for the first time, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like, ever. It still is. It genuinely is. Okay? I would love that in live action. Genuinely. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if it feels like if it's copied. I want that so badly. Do it, please.
But that's why I'm thinking, like, why I like this show even more, because it's not just the theorizing. Once again, the writing of this show,
so
the
strong.
two characters that we're leading, so good. But it got us, this show did a very good job of showing us what could be of the next phase of the MCU, of what could come next, of what the plot could be on a small scale, which is what I wanted. Like, I know Doomsday is going on and we all are hyped for that, but I really wanted to know, what the heck can I be excited about for the next phase? And the fact that somebody alluded, Screen Culture and another person on Twitter, alluded to the fact that these could be the next big bad villains going after super beings, mutants, the X-Men. That is so cool. That it's so cool that I can get into that and think about that again. Because I feel like I wasn't able to do that. Like, when we finished Secret Invasion, terrible. I did not care about what it gave us. I don't even think it alludes to anything it gives us. It gave us terrible stuff. When we finished the WandaVision, I think WandaVision was cool because it led up to Doctor Strange Multiverse of I think it's madness, but I still theorized about it. I thought that was cool. But like, a lot of these shows didn't really give us a lot to like be hyped for. This to me just gets me hyped, because I'm like, if this Department of Damage Control is really gonna be like an obstacle for the X-Men, oh my gosh.
Dude, you make a really good point, and I think it's something that this show does perfectly that I think is the problem with a lot of Marvel television for a while. You have the Loki, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier of it all, where it's, hey, these you have to watch to understand what's going on, okay?
Yeah.
And if you don't watch it, you're going to feel out of the loop. And then you have the She-Hulks, the Moon Knights, the Miss Marvels, Miss of it all, where actually Miss Marvel, sorry, I take out of that category. She-Hulk and Moon Knight, and I'm gonna throw Secret Invasion in there of it all. Yeah. Where these feel so separate, and it doesn't feel like they're doing anything cool or anything that's like connected to the MCU. I think Moon Knight is the connect to the MCU thing. She-Hulk and I actually kind of think what She-Hulk did was a little cool. But yeah, it didn't feel connected. It didn't feel connected at all. Like, it was just like, hey, I don't really understand how this is gonna play a part into anything. This show, it does a perfect job of telling an isolated story that is it's like giving you the character of Wonder Man. It's like, hey, this is who he is, he's cool, he's whatever, while also showing like a small little hint of what could be in the future. That's perfect. And no post-credit scene either, which a little bummed about because I like post-credit scenes, but also, we don't need that right now. Like, it doesn't make it makes no sense for one. What they did, what they ended, and what they set up was perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. I was very impressed, and I like how you brought up She-Hulk, because I low-key was expecting She-Hulk to come out of nowhere.
She's like, I'm your attorney.
Yes, like, I kind of, that's one thing that I feel like is missing with some of these small-scale, like, especially, haven't we had a couple of projects placed in California, or like, Los Angeles area?
I don't know. She-Hulk, that's it. That's all I got.
She-Hulk, Wonder Man, I feel like we had another project that was close. Either way, I feel like she would have been perfect in this, especially if it's gonna turn more. I mean, we'll talk about episode 8 and the ramifications of that in a second, but I kind of was missing that, because also, wasn't the security prison also mentioned or like talked about or shown in She-Hulk? Like the security prison that had
God, they had their own. I don't know if that was Damage Control or something separate. You're talking about where Abomination was, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember. That's something we should do some more research. They kind of treated this like a reveal, so I don't think that was the same thing, but it might be. I think you might be onto something. I don't know.
Now, I want to get into something too. I want to go back into Simon's character.
Let's do it.
I want to talk about his powers.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to lie, I still don't know too much. I know that they said ionic energy, but I think it's really cool how powerful he can get. I really think it's kind of, I wonder if they could allude to it. It's going to be sad, but the fact that his hands and everything quakes, I wonder if they could go into that, and I wonder if She-Hulk could do something with that. Where if she were to come in and be like, actually, those were earthquakes. We're in California. It happens. It wasn't him. And then just put it.
No way. It feels way too isolated for it to be like, yeah, it's just like, this is a small earthquake in this one section.
I feel like she could play it off, but his powers are really cool to me, and now I want to get into episode 8 because I did not know. Spoiler alert: Brody could fly. That was low key pretty cool to me.
That was pretty
he
cool.
took off, and even just that purple energy was just cool to me. Like the fact that his eyes can light up. That's another reason why I like this show. They didn't show too much of what he can get into with his powers.
They just started. They just touched on it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I love that they like gave us hints a little bit, and it's room for us to see what he can really do.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he's gonna be in Doomsday?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. I think it doesn't make sense for him to be in Doomsday. I don't even think you see him really in Secret Wars. Look, I think once we get this whole reset, it'll be clearer as to who they're keeping, who they're changing, who they're replacing, who they're getting rid of. But I just don't think... I think I could see him more likely in Secret Wars. He's 100% not in Doomsday. If he was, I feel like we would have known about it by now. And assuming that this was a show that Kevin Feige was planning on canceling, I doubt that he's in Doomsday.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask and see. I don't think he is in there, but I feel like it would be cool to see, like, if he's as powerful as they're saying. And also, there could be a hint that he could be a mutant. So I'm just putting that out there.
I think that's what it is. I don't know much about Wonder Man. I've read about what his power is, like what kinds of things he can do. Really cool. I don't know, like, if he's a mutant or science experiment when he was a kid or like whatever. I don't know. It seems like mutant. They just didn't use the word. They kind of implied that he's always been like this.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming mutant. Regardless, awesome character. Awesome show, dude. It really
is, bro.
I just want to say it again, I think, before we close, and I think you have something else to say. I just want to say it, like, when the MCU is great, bro, it's magic. Like, I swear. Like, I'm on top of the world right now. Like, we get Daredevil in a couple months, and that's going to be incredible, too. And then we get Spider-Man in July, and then Doomsday. Like, this is it, bro.
We're forgetting another project.
What?
Well, actually, I don't even know if it's still slated for this year or whatever. Vision Quest.
Yeah.
I thought that was coming out before.
I don't think so.
You're not excited that much?
No, I'm not. It's not that I'm not excited about it. I just don't think it's coming out this year.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Have they even like officially announced that?
You know what? Yeah, it's probably not coming.
Like,
out.
I think there might have been like a Hollywood Handle. Like a Hollywood Handle article, but I don't think like the MCU has been like, here's like the title for it, and like here's like some cool thing. I might be wrong on that, but I think it comes out in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. That would make sense to me.
Probably. Before we did end,
yes,
I did want to talk about another episode.
Do it.
That
I
thought was pretty impressive. Episode 6 callback. When they go to
the
director's house and they are with 6 or 8 other people, and they are participating in a private audition trying to get the role of Barnaby or Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Simon in that scene was very impressive to me. Like, even just what he was going through, and even the fact that it alluded to when Trevor was telling him in episode 1 or episode 2, I forgot which one it was, like, yo, chill out. These notes are way too, like,
too much.
It's too much. Just be you. And so we already know. In my head, I already knew Simon is the guy for this role.
Yeah.
We all know. I'm not even trying to think of the MCU story. Like, he's obviously gonna get Wonder Man. I'm just thinking in my head the way he is, the way he like is dedicated to Hollywood, knowing all the knowledge and stuff, and even just this is his role. I'm like, this is the guy for it. But every single time, like that scene where the director knew instantly like what he was acting. Did he say Pretty Woman or something? Yeah. And then he's like, Simon, this is not what I expected of you. Even though it was like he did a good job acting that part out, but it's just, bro, listen to Trevor. Be you. Be you. That's why he told him. I even like that part where Brody said, yeah, we don't need the script. Take the script away. And Brody was like, wait, what? what do you mean? What do you mean no script? And instantly he's like freaking out and he's trying to like figure out how to like connect, I guess. And I'm like, oh man, how does he do this? I really love that whole process, and even just the whole wackiness of like them acting out or improving.
Did you? Okay. So I got really scared when he killed the guy. I actually got like I fell for it because the scene lasts long enough where like you are confused, you know, like when he sits on the couch, I'm like, oh, he's gonna fall asleep. Oh, that sucks, whatever. And then it doesn't. Like the scene just keeps playing out. He gets out. He's like, I want to play. I want to participate. And then freaking punches the guy in the face. And I was like laying back in my chair and I sat up and I'm like, what direction is this show going? Like, I don't know what's happening now. And I freaked out. And usually in scenes where, like, the guy gets punched in the face, it, like, guts. And it's like, all right, he's awake now. Oh, man, I fell asleep. They left it just a little bit, or I actually believe she just murdered someone.
Yes. I was low-key, like, when it happened, I was kind of, at first I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's dreaming. But then when it played for a little bit, I was like, did he really just kill that guy? And then when he woke up, I was like, okay, thank God. Thank God. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
This show just does once again, it just does a good job. And I just love how you mentioned there wasn't really a crazy villain. It's just, I love how we really could focus on these two characters. And we weren't blinded by, oh, but one is Colossus or Magneto or whatever type of random villain they could bring in. Gonna come in and ruin all this. Like, we could really just focus on this character and realize that, one, we like him, but two, also, we realize that he is a self-centered D-word, like his ex-girlfriend said. Like, I'm just so impressed because it really was just him versus himself. And that is, I feel like that's a hard thing to, like, try to make a story or plot about in just good writing, because it really made you forget everything that a usual MCU show does. It really made you forget about the fights that you would want to see, the crazy villain that you would want to see, the crazy powers that you want to see, and just focus on two characters trying to just get what's the word?
Get famous. Break into Hollywood.
Like, get a revive, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was impressed with this show, man. Like, it did a good job. I'm still at a strong 8 for this show, but I really wish I could give it a 9.
I'm holding at a 9, and I'm pretty ready for it to maybe be on my top 10 projects of the year already. I think it will be.
Dang.
I think it will.
Okay.
I think it will be. I loved it a lot.
I'm impressed, man. I just really am. And I'm so glad the MCU did not cancel this show.
Yeah, Kevin Feige.
Because, man, oh, man.
We would have burned it at the stake.
Dang. Which?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways.
You know, like, all right, never mind.
Which? Yeah, I know what okay. Anyways, doesn't matter. All right. Anyways, guys. Phil, any closing remarks about Wonder
Honestly, man, just please watch this show. If you guys have lost, like, if you lost hope in the MCU, just watch this, because they're cooking something up, and Destin Daniel Cretton is cooking something up too.
Dude, if you are out on the MCU now and everything you've seen still hasn't brought you back, I don't know what to tell you, man. I think you're just boring.
Time to hang up the cape.
I think you're just
Time
boring,
to hang
bro.
up the cape.
But anyway, guys, that was another episode of the Film Podcast, where we break down films in the way that anyone can enjoy. Guys, this was a bonus pod. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all the things, and we'll get you more bonus pods on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and for you audio listeners, Spotify. That was our Wonder Man review. Have a great rest of your day.
Take it easy, y'all.